Hello, everybody out there. This is Shari, and I'm back with more of Just My Opinion. If you've been following the vomitorium the way I have, and you know, we're all like little baby birds wanting more of that vomit, you will know that this whole thing reminds me of this cat toy that I just bought for my cat. It's you charge it by plugging it into a cube, so it has a port like a cell phone. And once it's charged, then you just leave it on the floor and the cat activates it. And what it does, it acts like a fish on a fishing bank, you fish pulled out of water. And this whole, the compliant ones are probably pretty pissed off by now that they've done everything that they were told to do. They were good citizens. They got the little sticker to show that they were good citizens. And now that they've done everything they could do to be good citizens, well, apparently it wasn't good enough. And now they have to be marked the same way as the ones who are being villainized. As you can tell by my title, you know what I'm talking about. Fortunately, that the evil empire, tech overlords, social media platforms, vomitorium platforms, they kind of wait for certain words or certain keys or certain phrases, and then they take your channel away from you and all the work you've done. And there goes your monetization. There goes all your live videos because, like me, you weren't smart enough to download it to your computer. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And the latest declaration of dependence has everybody, no matter whether you're a deplorable or you are compliant, participating in this. It's like, wait a second, I've done my due diligence. I've done everything I was supposed to do, everything that you told me that makes me a good person, that gives me the chance to virtue signal to the world, because vomitorium platforms have now conditioned us to sit around and wait for people to smash a like button, to share comments or videos or links or comment in the hopes that someone will say, "Oh, you're so good. You're so wonderful. You deserve to live. You're not an existential waste." But back to the topic at hand, which I'm skirting around trying to be very delicate about, is the workplace. The workplace now. The people who are deplorables and the people who are booger. It's just hate it when a booger goes back up in there. Hold on. Basically, we're all going to be marked the same in the workplace. Oh, that feels like potato chip. Anyway, we're all going to be marked now the same. And it reminds me of what's coming in the workplace. I'm not saying it's absolutely coming, it's absolutely going to happen, but there's this potential, hypothetically speaking, for the people who have comment out in the netherverse that I'm speaking in conspiracy theories. Let me preface this by saying this is a possible hypothetical, that there is going to be bullying. There's a potential for bullying in the workplace now, because the ones that were compliant, and let's just say complicit, are now going to be asking, wait a second, I followed the rules. I did what I was told. I showed everybody that I'm thinking of everybody. And now I have to be punished like everybody. Why? Why is the onus on me to do this? And I see the potential, hypothetically, again, I see the potential to hypothetically for there to be legitimized workplace bullying. It reminds me of that movie with Matthew Modine, Vincent D'Onofrio, and you know what I'm talking about, Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket, where Leonard Lawrence, everyone forgets that the character's civilian name is Leonard Lawrence. And he was nicknamed Pyle by the drill sergeant. Every time Pyle screwed up, couldn't get through to him, till finally, the drill sergeant couldn't get him to perform at least to par. So instead of punishing Pyle when he hit a donut in his footlocker, or couldn't climb the wall, or didn't clean his gun the proper way, he didn't get punished anymore. It was the rest of the guys in the, unit. Is that what they call in the Marines? Someone please comment. Someone who's watching. What is it called in the Marines? Is it like is it a unit? Is it I've never been in the military. Anyway, the guys in their group, they're the ones that have to do exercises or run or go on full pack hikes when he messes up. So this is where we are at now. No one's commenting. Come on, help me out here. Help a brother out. Since the Pyles of the world are not meeting the minimum expectations and the minimum compliance, then the rest of the troop has to be punished for it. That's what I'm getting at. And if you've seen Full Metal Jacket, good for you. It's my daughter's favorite film. My son loves it too. If you haven't, I highly recommend it, because there's this one soap scene. It's a soap party where the guys in the, come on, there's got to be someone out there who's in the Marines. What is it called when it's in some basic and unit troop, a bunch of guys together, alone out in the woods? Oh no, that's a different topic. Basically, the guys in the barracks hold Pyle down, the character. They throw a towel over his chest and secure his body and his arms at his side, while everybody else throws him a soap party, which in the scene you'll see they put a full-bodied bar of soap in a sock, and they just whack the crap out of him. And that seems to be the turning point for Pyle. And not the good sense, because sure, now he's meeting par standards, but the guy's now a little loony and unpredictable. And when you push people to a point where their good sense no longer prevails, that's when this peer pressure, or I guess really peer pressure, abuse, the legitimized bullying isn't good. I mean, as far as the human psyche goes, people can only be badgered for so long, can only be abused for so long before, like what George Carlin say, the mind goes, just pops. The mind just pops. And you either withdraw into yourself or you act out aggressively. If you haven't seen the movie, I won't spoil the rest of the film for you. It's great. I would say Matthew Modine's best work. I really, didn't care for him in that movie when he was the medical student. But anyway, that's off topic. So right now, I hypothesize that there is going to be a backlash of workplace bullying of between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. And people, one group being mad at the other group. And I've talked about the others before in my YouTube video papers. Please, when I talk about the others who are not up to par, not meeting expectations, or who are not running off the cliff like a bunch of lemmings, there's going to be a backlash. There's going to be a further divide, because just like I don't want to, there's no way in hell that I am going to stand before a judge and be charged with the sins of my father. There's no way that anyone else is going to go along with being badgered and bullied and brutalized at work. It's just not going to happen. I don't want to be put on trial for something that I had nothing to do with, that I couldn't control. And there are going to be people at work who say, hey, I couldn't do it because of this, or I couldn't do it because of that. Why do we even need to explain? And luckily, and I believe this is a federal law, the EEOC is where, there's certain steps before you get to that point. But if I would recommend, in my opinion, any workplace bullying or harassment is you follow the hierarchy of your companies. Go from your immediate supervisor to their supervisor, and so on and so forth. When you hit the ceiling in your organization, and you've already have like a little diary of who harassed you, what day they harassed you, write down the time. If you get to the top of the business and there's still nothing that's changed or can be done, or you've been driven out, the EEOC is a federal option for workplace bullying. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to leave you with this. We should not legalize. We should not legalize. We should not justify. We should not validate. We should not. God, I'm struggling for the word. I'll come up with it after I turn the video off. I'm sure. I don't have my thesaurus in hand. Still a bunch of boxes. Oh, and by the way, I will have a video and I will have an audio episode on my podcast, Just My Opinion, of what's been happening for the past August, the past 4 months. Things have been kind of an upheaval, but I'll have an update for you on both platforms. But we should not legitimize bullying under any circumstances. Protect yourself, guard yourself. Remember, the EEOC is there for everybody. Take care of yourself, love yourself. For your own self, first do no harm, and physician, heal thyself. I appreciate everybody who follows the page. I appreciate everybody who subscribes. I appreciate everyone who smashes the like button. I appreciate everyone who shares. And I appreciate every comment, from here on the platform, plus at the email just.my.opinion.podcast2020@gmail.com. If you're interested in supporting the program, like, has been done by people before, you can email me for my Cash App information. Trying to get my studio set up in my new location, and every little penny helps. You have a wonderful day. You be safe. and realize that we're all in this together. We're all in the same sandbox. So there's no need to sprinkle sand in each other's eyes or anywhere else.